This is Part 5, Regulatory Strategy for Vyvanse. I am Robert Kagbo. I'm a Senior Research Scientist at the Albany Molecular Research Incorporation in Albany, New York. In the Regulatory Strategy for Vyvanse, the following will be discussed. I will cover the new drug application filing in the US, Europe, and other countries. Also, I will cover the package insert, discuss the indication Vyvanse was approved for, both in the US, Europe, and other major markets. In addition, I will discuss the dosage form and treatment schedule, and finally talk about the patient populations that are involved in the treatment with Vyvanse. To start this discussion, one may ask, where was the filing for Vyvanse first done? This question can be answered from previous lecture. We've learned that 87% of companies launch their first wave of drug from the US. The first new drug application was filed in the US on December 6, 2005 by New River Pharmaceuticals, who were later bought by Share Pharmaceutical. It's important to note that only Share Pharmaceutical presently own this drug. However, in 2005, New River Pharmaceuticals were the only one involved in the initial filing. The indication of the NDA was for the treatment of ADHD in children 6 and 12 years old. This was the first and only stimulant prodrug and was a novel treatment for ADHD. It's important to note that ADHD has no cure, but only the symptoms are being treated. The filing had 3 dosage strengths of 30, 50, and 70 milligrams, indicated as an oral drug for once daily dosing with extended duration of effect and reduced abuse-related characteristics compared to other medication for the treatment of ADHD. The NDA was approved by the FDA after 2 years from the initial filing, and we've learned during the course of this lecture that the review process has now been reduced significantly. This approval was for only children 6 and 12 years old and the 3 dosage strength as indicated earlier. While the approval process was in progress, a supplementary filing was done. That supplementary filing included other age groups that we'll talk about in the next. Share Pharmaceuticals filed the supplementary NDA in June of 2007, for this time the adult population. The FDA approved the supplementary filing less than a year later for 30, 50, and 70 milligrams for the treatment of ADHD in the adult population. About 2.5 years later, another supplementary NDA was approved, this time for the use of Vyvanse in 13 and 17 years adolescent population. The dosage strength involved were 20 to 70 milligrams in 10 milligram increments. The use of Vyvanse for the treatment of ADHD now covers a wide range of the US population. However, these approvals discussed so far were only for the US. What about other major markets? We'll discuss those in the next slide. In February of 2012, Health Canada approved Vyvanse for the treatment of ADHD in children 6 and 12 years old. Note the dosage strength approved was for 30 and 70 milligrams, which is slightly different from that in the US. And in Canada, it may just be a matter of time and the outcome of clinical data for other population subgroup who has ADHD to be included in the treatment with Vyvanse. In addition, Vyvanse has been approved in South America and now Brazil treats children 6 and 12 years old who had HDAD with virus. Finally, in Europe, a successful phase 3 study was carried out for children and adolescents who had ADHD in 2012. As a result, the Medicine Healthcare Product Regulatory Agency in UK reviewed Vivas for the treatment of ADHD. Please note the trade name for Vivas in Europe is Venvas or Elvas, depending on the country. And there are now 8 European countries that now treat people with ADHD with Vivas. These countries include United Kingdom, Germany, Finland, Denmark, Ireland, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. So, what are all the dosage forms and strength of this drug? It is important to note that every person with ADHD is different and will vary in his or her response to the available treatment. This is because ADHD is a complex disorder and every patient has specific needs. While there are no cure, but there are several available dosage forms and strength to treat the symptoms of ADHD. It is a once a daily capsule taken preferably in the morning. Starting treatment, for example, for children is 30 milligrams per day. Daily dosage may be adjusted in increment of 10 or 20 milligrams and at approximately weekly intervals. At the discretion of the physician, a patient may begin with a lower dose or a higher dose depending on the body weight and height and age also. To minimize mistakes and confusion, each Vivas dosage strength has its unique color associated to it. For example, 30 milligram capsule has white and orange colored as shown in the slide. 40 milligrams has white and teal color, and 70 milligrams has blue and orange color as shown in the slides. What are the medical guide for these medications? What about package insert? It is important to note that Vivas is administered as part of a total treatment plan, which may include counseling or other therapy. The drug has been shown to be effective throughout the day. However, it should not be taken by patients with heart-related issues or patients on monoamine oxidase inhibitors like Nadil, Maplan, Zilipar, etc., or those patients currently on other antidepressants. Any patient with MAOI who are currently taking those type of medications are normally allowed a wash-off period of about 14 days before starting Vivas. In addition, there are many side effects, and for children, slow growth will be of a high concern in addition to others shown on the slide. What about the product insert for the adult population? Similarly, for the adolescent population, this medication is a doctor-prescribed medication. Vivas has been shown to improve attention and reduce symptoms of hyperactivity in teenagers. However, it should not be taken by those on antidepressant or heart-related issues. Side effects, among others, include slow growth, psychotic symptoms, are all major concerns for teenagers who are on this drug. What about the adult population? The package insert for the adult population has similar warnings and side effects as we've discussed for children and also the adolescent population. However, heart-related issues will be of a major concern among the adult population in addition to the other side effects shown on the slide. To summarize the regulatory strategy for Vivas, Vivas is now approved in the US for the treatment of ADHD in children, adolescents, and the adult population. It is a once-a-daily capsule with dosage strength that varies from 20 to 70 milligrams. It has also been approved in Canada and Brazil for the treatment of children with ADHD. Also, it's been approved in 8 European countries for the treatment of children and adolescents with ADHD. Finally, there are many side effects to the use of Vivas, and some of them are shown in this slide, which include slow growth, anxiety, dizziness, vomiting, nausea, trouble sleeping, heart-related issues, etc. And this concludes the regulatory strategy for Vivas. Thank you for listening.